Day 1126, I'm at church. I was just reading Proverbs, and I read a good amount, and I was like, okay, I'm done. And then something was just like, just finish the rest of this chapter. And I was like, okay, I will. And then got halfway through it, and I was like, oh my gosh. Proverbs 11:26 says, people curse the one who hoards grain, but they pray God's blessing on the one who is willing to sell. So people curse the one who hoards grain, but they pray God's blessing on the one who is willing to sell. And I was just like, oh my gosh, that's my business. Like, it's like I'm hoarding this. Like, I've got this amazing framework that God has given me to help believers find their calling, which 87% of them need desperately, because it will change their lives. It will change their faith. It will change their relationship with God. It will change their entire outlook on life. And it's like, that's the grain. And I was reading about how grain and hoarding grain really affected society and prices. If a farmer hoarded grain because they used grain to trade, if a farmer hoarded grain, it would mess up the whole city. And so people curse the one who hoards grain, but they pray God's blessing on the one who is willing to sell. And it's like, I've got all this grain stored up and I'm hoarding it and I haven't gotten it out into the world. And God's like, put it out into the world and be willing to sell it. And it's like, wow. I was just like, dang, that's crazy. People curse the one who hoards grain, but they pray God's blessing on the one who is willing to sell. That is just like, that is so perfect. I knew there was going to be one verse if I finished the rest of that chapter that God was just going to like give me some wisdom, because I was waiting for it. There's a lot of good stuff in there, but I was waiting for that one that really hit. And that was it. People curse the one who hoards grain, but they pray blessing on the one who is willing to sell. I've got all this grain, and now it's time to sell. Come on. That is so good. Thank you, Lord.